Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Best of Five. A special episode of Best of Five, I suppose. I'm pissed, man. I'm actually like super upset. Yo, Velociraptor, how's it going? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing okay. Hello, like Horace, I see you in the chat. Hello, Beaver, for the win. I see you in the chat. Good to see you guys. Welcome to Best of Five. Best of Five is your weekly FGC fighting game community talk show where we usually discuss tournaments like Evo Japan that was this past weekend. We usually discuss new game updates like all of the cool tech and stuff that we got. We usually talk about fighting game stuff like the fact that I've been playing Bedman this morning, and I've been having a blast. But we have more serious shit we need to talk about because it just can't. I'm so mad I don't have words. My instinct, right, is to make jokes, right, and make myself laugh, even though this topic is heavy. But that is absolutely not what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try my best. And if I do wind up making jokes, please call me the fuck out, right, because this shit's not appropriate. Now, we've had this kind of issue before, and we're having this issue again, and it sucks because it casts such a negative light on all of us because one person decided to be an asshole. After everything came out, more than one person decided to be an asshole, right? And this makes us look like shit as a community, and there is absolutely no place for any of this bullshit here. We're the fighting game community is usually thought of as like the most welcoming community in esports, right? Because it's more diverse. It's open brackets, right? It's a true meritocracy where you press buttons the best, you win. However, this shit cannot keep happening. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, earlier this week, as a matter of fact, I believe it was yesterday, somebody who goes by the name of Taiyaki Press on Twitter came out with screenshots and everything, showing that a member in the fighting game community was sending her inappropriate DMs. That's not okay, right? And she brought it out into the light, and luckily, now we know who that person is, and it's Espada, and he's somebody here from the Texas FGC, I believe, which makes this even hit closer to home because I live in Austin, right? So she was brave enough to come out and share her story, and I will pull it up right here for all of us. The tweet that she tweeted was from an occurrence that happened on October 13th of last year. But the tweet says, "I'm going to just come out and say who it was because I had the unfortunate chance of seeing him in the same tournament as me tonight. And it might be a shock to some because I'm aware he's kind of well known. Espada was the one who did this to me." Now, if you would like to see the screenshots for yourself, please go to Tayaki's Twitter. She has all of the receipts there. But essentially, what this comes down to is Tayaki does an SFW art, fighting game themed, and Espada decided to reach out to her and was sexual in DMs. And now we know in the fighting game community that cosplay is not consent. We have a lot of great cosplayers in our community. Cosplay is not consent. Doing NSFW work is not consent. And the fact that, he kind of approached her in this way is very icky and very shitty. So I'm super happy this got brought out into the light. However, the purpose of somebody sharing something like this is to cast a light into someone who's obviously causing problems, right? B, it's to help others who have also dealt with either similar issues with that specific person or other people similar to that to come out and speak their truth as well, whether it's the same person or not. And as we've learned, after Taiyaki shared this, there has been, I counted 5 other people for 6 total victims of people who have been sexually harassed by Espada. And that's not okay. And on top of this, Espada is also known as someone who's been very mean to other people, right? So the fact that this person has caused so much trouble, both by being an asshole and now by being a creep, is something we need to deal with. My big issue to all of this, and why I'm even angrier than I think anyone should be, and at the end of the day, this is not about me, right? My initial plan was to have Tayaki here and to give her a platform to speak on it. However, she was not feeling very well, as any of us can imagine. This is extremely distressing. So please send her as support, right? We need to. This is a member of our community who has suffered greatly at the hand of someone, and we need to support them instead of shooting them down. The big issue is a lot of people, some who are pillars of the FGC here in Austin, or not in Austin, but in Texas, decided to then take to Twitter to harass Tayaki on top of all things, right? I specifically am going to call one person out because I believe this person is kind of a pillar here in the Dallas community, specifically Integra. I don't usually speak with Integra. I have in the past. We've played lots of games. I respected him. However, here was Integra's response to this. I'm just curious why this is okay. I feel that it's super offensive. I'm legit offended for someone to just degrade you to a... You can read the rest of the quote. Now, what Integra decided to do here is to dig through Tayaki's past tweets and get something out of context in order to try to get this weird gotcha moment, right? However, consent. She clarified later, Tayaki, who didn't need to do this, later clarified that this was an exchange between her and a friend. Consent. She's okay with someone she knows speaking to her like that. She's not okay with someone she doesn't know speaking to her like that. And the fact that Integra is trying to stand up for this man is not okay. Now, Integra also, when confronted about this, saying, hey, I don't think that... When people confronted Integra about this on Twitter, saying, hey, this is not okay, instead of the man looking at it, thinking twice, he doubled down. Now, I've always joked that on social media, instead of thinking about what you're doing, you double down. That's obviously a joke. You're supposed to think about what you're doing. Someone who, and I'm covering up names here because I want to keep as many people out of this as possible. I just want to focus on the shit that's bad so that we can fix it. Someone then confronted Integra saying, hey, this is not okay. This doesn't make sense. Stop it. And Integra replies by saying, not your place to tell me anything like that, so step back with that shit. Zayn does a lot of stupid shit, and I'm always the first to call his shit out, but this whole situation stinks. Now, I don't know about you. We're going to go back to the rest of those tweets. I don't know about you, but sexually harassing women seems to be something to call someone out on. Later, someone else intervened and said, and it was your place to pull some random screenshot of her interacting with her friend as a gotcha to invalidate her feelings on the situation. So what even is the fucking point of your post? And Integra's reply is, sorry about that, anime character. The person had an anime profile avatar. That does not negate anything that they had to say. But Integra simply just doubled down. So here I am, not an anime avatar. This is me. I am in Austin, Texas. Everybody knows me as Ilan. I forgot to introduce myself at the top of the show because I'm so pissed. Here I am saying this to Integra. The shit that stinks here is your response to all this bullshit. And the fact that, we've rubbed shoulders at tournaments in the past, and we will be rubbing shoulders at Texas Showdown in the next couple weeks. I think this shit needs to get straightened out real damn fast. Why is blocked the name on blue and the other not? Because I am addressing the person whose name I did not block. Everyone else, if you want to see who they are, you can go to Twitter. Shit's public there, but I'm not about to set up a bunch of names here. Could it be that this defense to Zayn can be linked to men feeling victims to the Me Too movement? That shit was for fucking ever ago. And this, it doesn't matter what feelings are. What matters is that Espada, who is a well-known member in the Texas FGC and in the FGC in general, harassed what seems to be countless women. And when getting called out, the person who shared their story is getting harassed on Twitter. My head's gonna fucking explode. We've been down this, We've been down this road before. When someone shares their story, that is like the bravest thing they can possibly do. And that is what shines a light on the shit that needs the light shined on. And this is exactly what Tayaki did. And the fact that so many people then started harassing her on Twitter, started trying to call her out, trying to get this gotcha moment, right? Another Twitter exchange that I then saw immediately below Integra's tweet was Schleeps, who is a member of the New York FGC, so New York, come get your man, Cloud Chaser, and Integra agreeing 100%. So, this is fucked up. This is really fucked up. But the response to this is not the response that we should be taking. We should be supporting the person and the people, rather, who have had to deal with Espada, right? That's like cut and dry, plain and simple. There were receipts in the story, and the fact that, you know, someone who is sharing their story is already like tasked with bringing a shit ton of receipts and a shit ton of other stuff. Like they have to do their due diligence, right? Like what? Like who in their right mind wants clout by sharing a story of being sexually harassed? Like what is like this shit? And Tayaki's in the chat. Everybody say hello to Tayaki. The funny part about the Cloud Chaser thing is that I have more followers than Espada, so if anything, I'm the one giving him attention. Yeah. My point exactly. It's like the cynical thought of people when they have the keyboard bravery, right? To not look at a situation and instead like fill in whatever blank spaces with shit in their own brain is fucked up. And you know, somebody who's been affected by this being brave enough to share their story, having to deal with this on top of it is absolutely not okay. Star Mari in the chat, as someone who has been a victim of certain acts of a sexual nature, who has also been invalidated by the police themselves, I can say with certainty men and even women alike can be a huge hurdle to getting stories out and lights shined where they need to be. My point exactly. First of all, I'm sorry, Star Mari, I'm sorry you've had to deal with that. That's not okay. And the fact that this is something that is in a community that I'm a part of, in a local community that I'm a part of, I'm not like the biggest person in this community, right? 100% probably won't be for a hot minute. I'm doing what I think is right and what I can, and it's to call this shit out so we can fucking address it and fix it. So we saw Yaki's main tweet from before. Here is her further explanation, right? The initial incident she noted was in, sorry, 1 second. The initial incident she posted about was in October 13th of 2022, and she then decided to come out with this person's name because she ran into him at a tournament. And here is her reasoning, which, again, we don't really need a reason. However, she was nice enough to post this. I kept quiet about it for a long time because I was scared of starting a ruckus. Case in point! Sorry for yelling. But seeing him again recently made everything come back in full force, and it makes me sick that this guy gets praised for his playing when he's out there doing this kind of stuff. I don't want this to happen to anyone else, so that's why I'm sharing it as a caution about this guy. No normal, respectable human being does this to someone they just met. All of the receipts are in the quoted tweet. They speak for themselves. So she literally said her intentions, which are, if I may say so, the correct intentions. And people still had this dumbass visceral reaction without having facts. Now, here's the thing. I called out Integra on the Twitter thing. There are countless other nameless and faceless Twitter accounts that then responded negatively. However, the whole purpose of sharing a story like this, again, is to warn people of this potential issue, right? Point achieved. Other people, some who I've been able to see on Twitter, I'm sure I'm missing a shit ton more, have come out. This is victim number 2. I did not get their express permission, so I just blurred their name out, but I wanted to share this anyway. Oh, hey, same experience with this guy. That's victim number 2. The list goes on. I've experienced extreme discomfort when we were getting to know each other, years back, to the point I had to limit any contact due to obsessive behavior, spam calls, texts, sexual comments. We didn't talk much until recently. I had thought he had grown from these past behaviors. And Star Mari, there's another unfortunate and sad part of this whole thing that makes getting out the stories for victims even harder, is that there have been far too many people who have said false stories and falsely accused people, which is a problem in and of itself. 100%. 100%. I also saw a tweet from Dear Lycoris, who's in the chat. Hello, thank you for being here. I asked her for permission to share. She was nice enough to let me share her tweets. And hilariously enough, this person isn't even a member of the FGC, right? According to her, Espada just found her in a fucking like anime Facebook group and just why are these people in our community? These are the people that we don't need in our community, and we need them out. I appreciate how willing you are to hear and update incoming information. Oh yeah, no, look, I'm doing my best just looking at Twitter, right? And at the end of the day, I'm just a guy. Like, I didn't suffer at the hands of them. However, knowing that other people did pisses me the fuck off. So I just want to get this shit out in the open so we can discuss this, deal with it, and move on. And you know, make sure everybody heals properly, everybody feels safe, everybody feels comfortable, so that we can go into the future hands held together, skipping into the field of posies, right? Unless you're allergic to posies, then marigolds. Like Horace was nice enough to let me show her tweet here. So again, she's not a member of the FGC, but has suffered at the hands of this man as well. There we go. I've been interacting with him since he friended me on Facebook randomly in 2018. And because I was going through shit, I guess I ignored the red flags. I always thought he was just weird and put up with it to be nice. Thanks for being the kick in the rear I needed to finally block him. So, for those of you keeping counts, that's victim number 5. Well, victim number 4 at the hands of this man. The rule is you need 3 to establish a pattern. And we're already at number 4. How about we go to number 5? Oh, Espada? Yeah. Since 2018 or something. And then, like Horace says, you too? Geez, we should start a group at this point. Honestly, I hope you all do. Like, please become friends. Like, let's have at least something positive come out of this bullshit, please. Texas FGC need to put this man on persona non grata. I 100% agree. If he feels this comfortable sexually harassing women online, this is not somebody I want to be in the same room with. This is not somebody I want to play video games with. And Mari says, ironically, I am a social worker, so I have been on both sides of this particular issue. It's maddening and something that infuriates me when it's brought up in a light tone or joking. No, start a group. I hope we all become friends so that like something positive comes. But Espada's response to this was to first post about 3 paragraphs worth of a twit longer, right? The classic. Blaming this on him being autistic and depressed. That made it even worse, right? I am someone I believe I'm on the spectrum, right? I believe all of us deal with some sort of like mental issues, right? I've shared very openly on this channel multiple times that I struggle with depression, and I've started recently as recently as last year, I've started like getting this shit taken care of, right? Brain drugs. None of that makes you want to harass women. None of it, right? Am I missing something here? Like blaming this on like a neurodivergent thing or like depression is not okay. You are still in control of your own actions. Yes. And look, I look, as someone who has dealt with depression for quite possibly most of my life, I understand that there are times when you are depressed or when you're dealing with some shit that logic doesn't compute, right? It just doesn't compute, and you do some stupid shit. A pattern of doing stupid shit goes beyond that, especially being something that's from like 2018. Dear Like Horse in the chat says, let me be real, I give you full permission to laugh at the absurdity of the stuff in the screenshots I posted, because while this is really heavy shit, sometimes laughter helps you get through. 100% agree. Thank you for the consent, and I super duper appreciate that. Star Mari in the chat. Internet is both beautiful and cursed, and it can bring people together or allow the dark parts of humans to come out behind the shield of anonymity. Yeah. So, and here's the other thing, and I don't think men understand this, right? I know it took me for fucking ever to finally wrap my brain around this. Time and a place. There are appropriate times and places to shoot your shot. There are appropriate time and place to flirt, hit on, etc., etc. In someone's social media DMs, that ain't the right time or place. Imagine you're, somebody who gets bullied at school, right? I equate this to getting bullied at school. Imagine you're somebody who gets bullied at school. You go home, you finally have a reprieve where you're in the privacy of your own home. You open up Twitter and you have DMs of more people bullying you, right? That's, from my understanding, how it feels to be a woman who gets sexualized, right? There's just no break. And when somebody goes as far as stalking you into social media and then, being creepy and non-consensually sexually harassing them, that shit's not okay. Some men really struggle with putting themselves into the shoes of the women they're talking to. 100%. Brutus, it's good to see you. Lord Shovecats, as it were. Good to see you there, Brutus. Yeah, like this ain't Tinder. Right. Time and place. Time and place. Time and place. Time and place. Even before this, there was like this whole discussion about dating in the FGC. Time and fucking place. Someone's playing in a fucking tournament is not your hint to go shoot your shot. Time and place. And hey, look, here's the thing. At the end of the day, look, I'm someone who I'm very socially inept, right? For those of you that have spoken to me in real life, I struggle to hold a conversation sometimes, right? Especially after the pandemic, right? All of the social training I had gotten has completely gone out the fucking window. If you're not sure, ask. Then they'll say, no, not interested. And then you go the fuck away. However, even asking, again, time and place. Time and place. Time and place. Dear Lycora says, I have to be honest, though. I have to thank him for the apology because if he hadn't posted it, I likely would have never known what was going on, considering my separation from... Yeah, 100%. 100%. And here's the thing. And I think this kind of helped to drive the point home in a weird way is after his initial apology or blame shifting, right, to neurodivergent and mental health tendencies, we got an updated apology, which, sorry, I'm trying so hard not to laugh because people have been calling it the patch notes. The patch notes version of the apology. How do you update an apology? I know. The season 2 of the apology went into, I messed up, blah, blah, blah. It's still honest. I'll be completely honest, man. Look, I appreciate somebody owning up to the fact that they're fucked up and then trying to make it better, right? However, there's this thing that I've seen repeatedly. I see this kind of pattern, right? And this happened as well with, I don't know if you guys remember this a couple years ago with Bushin Style, right? Where he kept non-consensually sexualizing Sherry Jennings. Sherry Jennings called him out. He kept doing it and said, but no, guys, I'm a nice guy. Kept doing it. Sherry kept calling him out. And now, I haven't heard from him in a hot minute. Thank God for that. I kind of got a little bit of a flashback to that with the second apology because it seems like he was trying to victimize himself in a way. Now, look, he's in Espada at this point is in an unwinnable situation, right? He fucked up. He harassed a shit ton of women. He sexually harassed a shit ton of women. He harasses other people, right? He is very mean to other people in the scene. So there is no real winning here. The real winning is logging off, taking a couple years of break, maybe go take an improv class so you can learn how to socialize. My take from his recent apology is, oh, guys, I messed up. I'm so sorry. No. Oh, I feel terrible about this, right? It's text on a page. Ultimately, I don't know what is in his brain, how he feels, right? I am not him. Whatever he decided to type, that's between him and his God, or whatever deity he chooses to or chooses not to align himself with. But it's like the apology of like it's making himself seem I'm trying to find the right words because it's difficult to put it in the words, right? It's like the apology of like trying to get people to feel sorry for him. It's like, oh, he just screwed up, guys. Right? So a lot of Star Mari knows what I'm talking about. A lot of abusers are quick to victimize themselves in order to avoid actually taking responsibility. That's the kind of vibe I got from that second apology. Is the second apology genuine or not? I have no fucking idea, right? I'm not the guy. He wanted sympathy bait. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He didn't screw up. He's done this multiple times over the years. Exactly. So could it be the defense of Espada has to do with mostly some men feeling attacked by women simply coming out to tell their side of the story? Since in their eyes, there's no explicit sexual act, therefore it's not a crime, and the accusing party is looking for clout, even though there's well-documented it. Therefore, it's not a crime, and the accusing party is looking for clout, even though there's well-documented evidence, blah, 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 blah. Maybe. I don't know, man. Doof Supreme. I'm not going to sit here and argue with a bunch of people who have already made their minds up and won't change them for anything. But as someone who has actually known the guy for years, I can guarantee his remorse is genuine and sincere no matter how you choose to read it. And you can take that shit to the bank. Have a good show. Okay. Nice discussion there. Thanks for your contribution. Goodbye. Look, like I said, is his apology genuine? I don't fucking know. Is it weird? Yeah. The good move would have been to apologize and sign off. You feel me? And look, I understand the point of view of like, oh, Espada's a homie and he feels bad, so I feel like I have to stand up for him. This guy can't do bad things. He's my friend. Yeah, exactly, right? If he's your friend, you call him out on his bullshit. You tell him he fucked up. You help him change his shit. Help your homie instead. Exactly. Pink salt caramel. Yes. Because right now, doubling down for your homie is just making you and him look worse. You feel me? If that's like, if your contribution is to say something and then plug your ears and walk away, then more power to you, I guess. Ignorance is bliss. But yeah, like this whole like concept of like ride or die for your homies, or like this whole concept of like, oh, he's my friend, so I have to stand up. Like, no. If you're really like friends with somebody who fucked up, let him fucking know. I've actually known this guy for years to the point of him sending me his address so I could come over and Netflix and chill. If you felt bad and knew it was wrong, why did he keep doing it over the course of years? Right? Yeah, like Horace, I saw your tweets where you mentioned like he asked you out like multiple times over the course of years, and when you said no, he was like, "Oh, but I want something casual." We're like, oh, what? Ah. I don't understand, man. It's like, dude, time and the place. It's not even like a read the room type of thing, right? It's not even like a I can't pick up social cues type of thing. It's not like I'm on the spectrum, so I don't get these what do you call it? Like these like details in conversation. I can't remember the word. There's literally no. That's like the most black and white you can get about it. Wait. I'm still wheezing at the response that people have the peppermint thing. Oh no, do I want to know? Do I even want to know? Y'all, I regret looking. Look, we're here to address this shit, right? So we have to bring it out in the open. Okay, I have not read it yet. There's nothing graphic. I have not read it yet. Hope you feel better. Just trying to down as much peppermint tea as possible. What about penis washed with... Jesus fucking Christ. Like, how does a not illicit laugh my ass off? But guys, it says... Right, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like... And the fact that there are people coming to the defense of this man, that is like what makes me really fucking upset. That is really what makes me upset. The fact that this person's in our community, and instead of saying, hey, this person fucked up, no, people are like, he's my friend, he feels bad, we should feel bad for him. Yeah, I saw, Tayaki, I saw that too. After he wrote his apology, people were like, it takes a big man to apologize. I accept your apology. Like, motherfucker, like that drove me up a fucking wall, because like it was already a shit apology to begin with. And other people were like, no, this is a man with integrity. He apologized. Did he like directly apologize to any of the victims? For the people who are here who had to deal with him, did he apologize to any of you before this shit? People did the same thing with infiltration. Exactly. Exactly. Like people who did not know the court case, people who had no fucking idea like what happened were like, infiltration didn't do that. He apologized, but he apologized for being a bad flirt. And the thing that is worse is this is like it's after hearing like so many countless stories of like how awful shit is for women on a day-to-day basis compared to like what we as men go through, which is fucking nothing, right? Like where just being nice has to be the default because you're already worried for your own safety, right? Like it's such a shit catch 22 because you have to be nice to someone who's being a dick because you're worried for your own safety. And then that's taken as, oh, this is consent. One of the victims said he apologized, but that was 1 year before he did it. Oh, yeah, no, that ain't okay. If he's already apologizing for shit and then doing it again, that's not like, that's Bushin style shit, right? That's Bushin style stuff. Fuck off. Fuck all the way off with that. Is this stuff uncomfortable to talk about? For me, yes. However, like I'm just uncomfortable bringing it up, right? These people had to deal with this. Like the women who are in the chat here had to deal with this bullshit for years. So like, how do you think they feel, right? At the end of the day, this shit ain't about me. It's about them. It's not even about Espada. It's about them, right? And at the end of the day, yeah, like Blue said, we have to do better, right? So the fact that like any negativity went towards Tayaki or anybody else who's come out and spoken their story is absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible, right? And that's why I really wanted to talk about it because again, the fighting game community, a lot of people, myself included, have said it's the most welcoming community. You can just show up, you play the games, it's great. Not anymore, it ain't. Right? This shit's fucking embarrassing. It makes us, it's not even just embarrassing, it's awful. Right? I don't even, like, there are no words. Right? Like, the fact that, like, I'm even, like, semi-involved with this community where this shit happens and other people run to the defense of the asshole who's doing it, then and that's kind of like the big issue, right, with the growth of the fighting game community, right, is like people like Espada come in, are good at the game, and then fuck it up for all of us. I think it was probably, yeah, no, actually, Brutus, you bring up a very good point. Yeah, Brutus in the chat says, unfortunately, I think it was probably always like this. We just have more awareness. Yeah, 100%, Brutus. 100%. Something I asked Tayaki before the show, because again, the main issue is we can talk about this shit that happened until we're all blue in the face, but it's time to put up or shut up, right? Like we can seriously talk about how awful this is and how terrible this is, but if we don't do anything about it, then we're not then we're not improving. We're just gonna keep saying, oh no, it happened again, right? So what I did was I asked Hayaki what it is, like how we can support her and what she needs from us as a community at this point. And this was her response. I just want people to realize that it's never okay to do this. Being sexual with women isn't shooting your shot, it's sexual harassment. As a community, the FGC needs to address this and recognize it as wrong. I know not everyone is going to be convinced, even though all the evidence is there, but as long as our stories are known and out there, and this guy is seen as the creep he really is, that's all I'm looking for is recognition of this unfortunately all too common problem of misogyny and mistreatment of women in the FGC. It's deplorable and should result in immediate bans, in my opinion. They do not have the right nor privilege to be able to participate in events that are supposed to bring people together. I 100% agree. I don't want to be in the same room as that guy. Can we have a discussion sometime about the Espada situation? I was the one behind him making the public apology and was in DMs with him on how to handle the situation. there's not a discussion to be had, Hizzle. Look, here's the situation. He sexually harassed women for years. It's a pattern. He just needs to like go away for a little while, learn better, and then in the future maybe come back. That's all there is. Until the ones in power actually start to take a more serious response approach to these things will continue as they are, and I don't know what it would take for that change to take place. And I said this to Tayaki in DMs, but like I said, I'm not the biggest like voice in the FGC, right? I don't even think I'm like the right voice in the FGC, right? I'm just somebody who likes fighting games and enjoys going to tournaments. If there is ever anybody who is dealing with something like this or feels uncomfortable, unsafe at going to any tournament because of one or more people, please reach out to me. And if I can't do anything about it, I'll get you in touch with someone who can, right? Because at the end of the day, we have people like Rick Dejado, who has, I think, been like kind of like the guiding star for the FGC in these last couple of years. We have people like Javi. We have people like Jabali, who all are more than willing to assist in making sure that everybody has a safe, comfortable, and positive experience. If anybody wants to go to a tournament but you feel unsafe doing so, let me know. The Twitter DMs are open. The email is right there. It's been scrolling for a while. Reach out to me in any way possible. Again, if it's something I physically can't be there for, I'll make sure to get you in contact with someone who can. Because fighting games are a wonderful thing. This community can be a wonderful thing when it's not ruined by assholes and by people who like to hide behind or like to like give excuses for doing shit. That's it. We're at 9:05. I'm going to hit the snooze button on the ads one more time because I am not going to take any ad revenue for this stream. Like Horace, Tayaki, anybody else, do you guys have anything else you would like to share or you would like to say for the chat? The floor is yours. I'll just read it in the chat. Because after this, I think this is all I had. I'm being one-sided about the situation. All of the evidence is there, right? There's literally no discussion to be had. This happened. He's apologized for it. Now he needs to take some time away and figure his shit out. There's literally no discussion to be had. How is this a one-sided conversation when I'm just presenting facts? Granted, yes, I am presenting opinions too. I don't think it's fair for me to say I'm presenting facts because there were a lot of opinions shared there. Star Mari, yes, please share whatever you guys want to say. Tayaki said, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has supported and read my story and others who were also affected. That's all I wanted was to be heard and to let people know about this guy. Tayaki, know that the backlash that you received is absolutely unacceptable. Know that I am extremely appreciative of you sharing your story. Know that I'm very appreciative of how brave you are to share your story. And hopefully we'll be taking the correct steps to deal with this stuff. Like Horace says, I don't really expect nor care for an apology for myself. I just want people to know there is a pattern now that I've also seen to be aware of this person. Yep. Star Murray says, as I said to Hizzle, the biggest thing that people seem to be missing here is that when a victim or victims comes out and speaks up, the point of this and why there is outrage on part of the victim is because people are too quick to defend the abuser. The victims are not acknowledged enough, and their feelings and thoughts need to be taken into account. 100%. Which is why I felt the need to bring this up and why I felt the need to have a show like this. 100%. 1000%. This is why when people want to discuss, there's little to discuss. 100%. 1000%. And here's the thing. Look, the Integra thing, if it was one of those situations where he had a knee-jerk reaction to it and he's learned better, cool. Let it be known. Right? Let it be known. His intentions weren't malicious. Yeah, look, here's the thing. His intentions or not, the fact of the matter is that this happened. People suffered because of it. And that's the problem, right? The outcome. Exactly like Brutus said. Anyway, look, this is not a discussion. We've had our say. Best thing we can do at this point is for Espada to let all of this die down. Himself heal after all this shit, right? Because clearly you guys are saying that he's affected enough by it. So he himself needs to heal, and he needs to do that away from his victim, right? And his victims also need him to do that away from them. So the road to hell was paved with good intent, 100%. So thank you everybody for joining. This has been a special edition of Best of 5. My name is Ilan. I appreciate you all joining, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll be playing some more Bedman. Cool? All right. Thanks, everybody. You all have a good night, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.